والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد. حدثنا محمد بن بشار أخبرنا بشر بن الوضاح أخبرنا أبو أقيل الدورقي عن أبي نضرة قال سألت أبا سعيد الخدري رضي الله تعالى عنه عن خاتم رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يعني خاتم النبوة فقال كان في ظهره بضعة ناشزة. Abu Nadra said that I asked Abu Sa'id Khudri radiyallahu ta'ala about the mark of Khatm Nubuwwat, meaning what was there about his Khatm Nubuwwat on his back Mubarak. So Abu Sa'id Khudri radiyallahu ta'ala he replied that into the back Mubarak of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam there was a blown flesh of meat. There was a blown flesh of meat. See, we are going through riwayat. Everybody narrates according to his understanding. Everybody narrates according to his understanding. So, in nutshell, there was some special mark of Khatm Nubuwwat onto the back Mubarak of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Abu Sa'id Khudri radiyallahu anhu, he is saying that it was a flesh of meat onto the back of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Another riwayat, حدثنا أبو الأشعث أحمد بن المقدام العجلي البصري أخبرنا حماد بن زيد أخبرنا عاصم الأحول عن عبد الله بن سرجس قال أتيت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وهو في ناس من أصحابه. Abdullah ibn Sarjis radiyallahu ta'ala said that I came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam into the midst of people. Amongst his Sahaba, they were in his surrounding, and Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam into the midst of people. And who are these people? Sahaba of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Abdullah ibn Jarjis said, فَدُرْتُ هَكَذَا مِنْ خَلْفِي. He said, I came to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but intentionally I was like going at the back Mubarak of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was going at the back Mubarak of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. فَعَرَفَ الَّذِي أُرِيدُ. So as soon as Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw Abdullah ibn Sarjis that he came, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam into the midst of Sahaba, Abdullah ibn Sarjis comes and he is having some goal. He is aiming for something. And what he was aiming, he tried for that he came at the back Mubarak of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam immediately understood that what he is aiming for, what he wants to see, what he wants to know. فَأَلْقَى الرِّدَاءَ عَنْ ظَهْرِهِ. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he had a chaddar, a sheet on his back Mubarak. So Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam threw it away. So he uncovered his back. As soon as Abdullah ibn Sarjis came, and he came at the back, so Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam knew what he is aiming, what he wants to see. So that's why Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam threw his chadar Mubarak at the back. I think when we were going through the riwayat of Salman al-Farsi radiyallahu anhu, I had mentioned that is what Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam did. Maybe I just remembered because of this riwayat that Abdullah ibn Sarjis was looking for sign of Khatm Nubuwwat at the back Mubarak of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and from his body language Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam understood, and Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam threw his chadar Mubarak and uncovered his back. فَرَأَيْتُ مَوْضِعَ الْخَاتَمِ عَلَى كَتِفَيْهِ مِثْلَ الْجُمْعِ حَوْلَهَا خِيلَانْ كَأَنَّهَا ثَآلِيلٌ. Hazrat Abdullah ibn Sarjis, he is describing that I saw that place where there was a mark of Khatm Nubuwwat. It was, like a feast. Again, it will be a flesh of meat, blown flesh of meat. So he is describing that it was like a feast. So it was a blown up flesh of meat onto the back Mubarak of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And he said there was, like we get that sesame seeds. We get that sesame seeds. That's how he was saying. Similar to that, that's how there was small dots on that flesh of meat onto the back Mubarak of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Very interesting hadith sharif. He said, I saw that mark of Khatm Nubuwwat. It was like a feast, and in surrounding of that flesh of meat, there was like a sesame seed, like sometimes on our skin you have that small dots. So that is what he's trying to describe, that there was small dots onto that flesh of meat, onto the back Mubarak of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and that is the Khatm Nubuwwat mark. فَرَجَعْتُ حَتَّى اسْتَقْبَلْتُهُ. He said, I saw that mark of Khatm Nubuwwat. Now I returned from there and I came face to face. I came in front of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. فَقُلْتُ غَفَرَ اللَّهُ لَكَ يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ. He said, I said to Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that Allah forgive you, O Habib Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Allah forgive you, O Habib Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Why he is saying that? Why he is saying that? فَقَالَ وَلَكَ. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam gave him the same dua. Into the lifetime of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, our ulama had derived, you will find, it is sunnah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And to fulfill the sunnah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or this sunnah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is being manifested into the life of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. What is the sunnah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala treats you according to your action. If you feed someone, Allah will feed you. If you will clothe someone, Allah will clothe you. If you give a home to someone, Allah will give you palace of Jannah. If you construct the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in return Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So al-jaza'u bi jinsil amal. Al-jaza'u bi jinsil amal. That the type of amal you perform, same type of treatment comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is the sunnah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And into the lifetime of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, we will find this numerous times, that the type of what you call treatment, or the type of offering you made to Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam will give you similar type of dua. An example, that day we were talking about, ustuwana, there are pillars into the Masjid Nabawi alayhi salatu wasalam, and whenever I think of those pillars, and whenever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took us to those pillars, I always remember Hazrat Maulana Mufti Abdullah Sahib rahmatullah alayhi, because he was holding my hand and he was making me do ziyarat of every pillar, mentioning the significance, mentioning the hadith sharifa about it, and singing praises of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in Arabic, and he was very emotional, and he made that ziyarat. That's why some time ago somebody was narrating that Hazrat Pir Zulfaqar Sahib, Namat Barakatuh, he was making tawaf and he joined, Mufti Salim Sahib joined into the tawaf. So if you do any amal with that person who is sahib dil, whose heart is drowned into the love and muhabbat and ishq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, same amal you do, and you do same amal with that type of person, then the effect will be completely different. I had mentioned before also that people, they go to read salatu salam to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam at Muwajaha Sharif, and I had seen these two people, Hazrat Mufti Abdullah Sahib rahmatullah alayhi and Maulana Bilal Sahib. They were like broken into tears, into the pond of their own tears, and that's how they were saying. And that is what we get. Like we had shared many times this riwayat. Mu'adh ibn Jabal radiyallahu anhu, Umar radiyallahu anhu, he comes to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's Rawda Mubarakah, and he finds Mu'adh ibn Jabal radiyallahu anhu sitting there and crying. He's sitting there and crying. So Hazrat Umar radiyallahu anhu saw him, that he is presenting himself to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam with tears, emotional, very sentimental, full of kafiyat. That's why I always say that there are some people, when we go to Makkah Mukarramah, Madina Munawwara, in Baqi'ul Gharqad, and to the Masjid Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam in Masjid Haram, sometimes they are being nominated by Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahi anil Munkar Shu'bah. And now we are coming to hear that Shu'bah is being removed. It is being removed. And may we make dua that may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make responsible people such that they do not come out from one extreme and they go to another extreme. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us balancedness of Quran and Sunnah. Balancedness of Quran and Sunnah. Anybody who speaks Arabic, that does not mean that he will be possessor of the mizaj of Quran and Sunnah. Remember that. That's why many people who are being nominated, and when we go to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, sometimes the way they behave, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala pardon them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala pardon them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us such that we go and we have examples of Sahaba numerous. Many. We don't have to follow anybody. We have Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's teaching, and we have Sahaba who followed the footsteps of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we have numerous incidents from the lives of Tabi'een and Tab'ut Tabi'een and Salafus Salihin, and they were followers of Quran and Sunnah more than me and you. So we will be more safer in following them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so give us tawfiq. So I saw these two people. They were very emotional. And where do you get that? Mu'az ibn Jabal, one of the most beloved person of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Everybody used to say to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ya Rasulullah, inni la uhibbuk, I love you, O Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam held the hand of Mu'az radiyallahu anhu and said, Ya Mu'az, wallahi inni la uhibbuk. O Mu'az, wallahi I take an oath, I love you. Imagine, sun and moon, they must be envying onto the taqdeer of Mu'az. Because Habib-e Kainat loves him. Habib-e Kainat loves him. So he is sitting there, he is reading Salatu Salam, and he is emotional, and he is from the Sahaba, and he is, what you call pet of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, beloved of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, one of the Ashara Mubashara, if I am not mistaken. He is one of the Ashara Mubashara. He is being given so many, what you call, glad tidings by Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He is being given so many glad tidings. He is the Imam of the Ulama. He will be bearing the flag of Ulama on the day of resurrection. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, A'lamuhum bil halali wal haram. He knows, he is the most knowledgeable person when it comes to halal and haram. So he has all these certificates. And he does something, I follow his style, or I follow somebody who only speaks Arabic? No. I will follow the footsteps of those to follow them. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam had asked me to follow. Quran and Sunnah had asked me to follow. So I was saying that, there is one ustuwana. Yeah, all these things came up from one ustuwana. That Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Ustuwanatul Hirs. Ustuwanatul Hirs. And Hirs comes from the Hirasa. That it is the pillar of those who will become, who will guard Masjid. Some of you now, these lockdown period, volunteering that we want to stay for these many hours to facilitate. And you take care of the masjid, you guard the masjid. So you following the sunnah of these Sahaba. So I was saying, al-jaza'u bi jinsil amal. Nabi Sallallahu used to give similar du'as. So, Nabi Sallallahu one day asked that who is going to become security of mine today? Nabi Sallallahu for certain time, for certain limited period, some Sahaba used to guard because there were so many dangers and so many fears. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Wallahu ya'asimuka minan nas, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed this ayat that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to protect you. Allah was going to protect him all the time. But to set example, to set lessons, and lessons will continue till the day of Qiyamah. So it was in process. The divine laws and revelation was under process. So Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he used to have security. And when Allah revealed this ayat, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam peeped out and he said, go home and take care of yourself, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taken responsibility to protect me. So till then, somebody used to become security. So one night Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked that he heard the voice of weapon. He heard the voice of weapon. So as soon as he heard, he said, who is there? So the reply was that Sa'ad radiallahu ta'ala came to provide security, to guard, to protect. So Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave the same dua. May Allah protect you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guard you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, preserve you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provide protection to you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provide security to you. So he doing the same amal, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave same sort of dua. And that you will find into the lifetime of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam many times. So here, Abdullah ibn Sarjis said to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ghafar Allahu laka. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive you. So Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Walaka. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive you also. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive you also. Same dua Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave. Why? فَقَالَ الْقَوْمِ. Now people, they said to Abdullah ibn Sarjis, Istaghfar laka Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You are so fortunate that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam made dua of maghfirat for you. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam made dua of maghfirat for you. And some of our like friend circle, sometimes you say dua to somebody individually, then it's a good habit. They said, no, not for me only, for all of us. Some of our in our circle, I think some of you will understand that some of them, they have this habit, good habit, that not only for me. If I give you dua, you say not only for me, for all of us. If you give me dua, I say not only for me, I say for all of us. So that is what Abdullah ibn Sarjis did. When Sahaba said to him that Istaghfar laka Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked dua of maghfirat for you. فَقَالَ نَعَمْ وَلَكُمْ. Abdullah ibn Sarjis said, yeah, for me also and for all of you. Let us share this dua of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam for all of us. That is what he said. So, ثُمَّ تَلَا هَذِهِ الْآيَةِ. Then Abdullah ibn Sarjis recited this ayat. وَاسْتَغْفِرْ لِذَنْبِكَ وَلِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَالْمُؤْمِنَاتِ. O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you seek forgiveness for believers. You seek forgiveness for your own sins and for the sins of believers, male and female. That is the ayat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam that seek forgiveness for your ummah. So that's why Abdullah ibn Sarjis said, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave me dua, but that dua is for the whole ummah. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam's dua, it is there for the whole ummah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us correct understanding of Quran and Sunnah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us correct mizaj of Quran and Sunnah. Now we'll go into the different chapter, Babu ma ja'a fi sha'ri Rasulillah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Hair Mubarak of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But how fortunate Anas radiyallahu ta'ala was, we had shared many times that somebody asked that, oh Anas, you used to help and you used to serve and you used to make khidmat of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Anas radiallahu ta'ala, the type of khidmat he made, the day Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed away, he said, I control myself. He said, I control myself. I didn't, I suppressed my emotions and I was showing sabr. And I became successful in controlling myself until he said I was passing by and he used to know and he used to recognize from the past Hazrat Fatima radiyallahu ta'ala. So he said, Fatima radiyallahu ta'ala asked that, Anas, have you buried Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? He said, yes. He said, did you did you throw some clay, some pieces of clay onto the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam? He said, yes. He said that at that moment in time, in a manner, Fatima radiallahu ta'ala said that, oh Anas, how you had that guts, that same hands used to make khidmat of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. How you could lift your same hands to throw that clay onto the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You know, in a manner he said, till now I was holding all my emotions, but this sentence of Fatima radiallahu ta'ala became qayamat to me. I couldn't hold my sentiments, my emotions, and I was broken down. Because he said, atabat nafsuka, you know, how you got ready with your hands to throw that mitti onto Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam by those same hands with which you used to serve and make khidmat of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She said that. That is when I couldn't hold. I was going to say 2-3 other things about Hazrat Anas radiyallahu ta'ala. Inshallah some other time. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.